So today we're going to talk about how to build bigger arms, specifically the bicep muscle and the brachialis muscle, so the front of the arm here. Now this is going to be different to the kind of arm building videos you've seen in the past because we're coming at it from a slightly different angle. I am a professional arm wrestler and also an osteopath, so we're certainly going to be using a lot of anatomy on where the muscle attaches and how it moves and how it functions to improve or optimize the muscle growth and strength improvements that we're going to be getting. So firstly, we're going to be looking at the bicep muscle, that classic one that you see on top of the arm here. When we're working the bicep, what we need to be doing is it crosses the shoulder joint as well as the elbow. So yes, it flexes, but if you're just doing the same movement over and over again, you're not stimulating those extra levels of growth that we're after. Because the bicep muscle also crosses the shoulder, what we really want to make sure we're doing is using the angle of your shoulder to create as much stimulation and growth and strength improvements as possible. Now, one thing that really is obvious nowadays is that a muscle grows most when you're working it through not only eccentric but an elongated or stretched out position. So for example, the chest will grow best if you're doing lots of this movement here where you're stretching out the muscle and working it under that stretch. So for the bicep, we're not going to be doing half reps because that's really not what it needs. It needs that stretching, and we can actually progress that stretch to an extra level by inclining and allowing the arms to drop behind the body. So the first movement we need to be using is the arm behind the body, and it looks just like this. So grab some dumbbells, and you're going to take a seat on a bench and you're going to decline it and bring yourself back. Let the arms hang, and the angle of the bench needs to be as far back as you can go without your arms not being able to drop. So if you're tight in the shoulders, this might be too low. You might have to bring it up a little bit, but you still want your arms behind the body. And then throughout this whole movement, I want your arms to stay behind you here, and then you're going to curl up, palms facing forwards, all to there, not up there, but keep your elbows behind you, and then you're extending all the way down to there, full range of motion, all the way up, squeeze the biceps at the top, and then all the way down. This is a full range of motion movement, and because the arm's behind you, we are stretching out the bicep under that movement. Once you have reached fatigue or failure like this and you really can't do another rep, once you've reached fatigue and you cannot do another rep, I want you then to go single arm. So have a quick breather and then start going single arm. For some reason, it allows you to do a few more reps. So if I squeezed out 10 reps like this and I couldn't get the 11th, I have a short rest and then I go single arm, and I can get an extra 1 or 2 reps out per arm, which just pushes that level of fatigue and activation beyond. What we're going to do now is we're going to focus on the bicep through the shorter range of motion. So take a seat and have your arm in front of you like this. There's 2 ways we can do this. Well, there's plenty of ways, but I'm going to show you 2 variations. Take the dumbbell, and then you're going to bring your arm in front of you here. So you can see that rather than being behind my body, the arm is now in front of my body. So there in front of the body, and you're going to curl up to there, again palm facing forwards, and all the way down, all the way up to there, all the way down. Again, we're going to do that for as many reps as you can. You need to choose a weight that you're maybe getting 8, 12, maybe up to 15 repetitions and 3 sets of that. I didn't mention this, but 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps, again with this decline version that I showed you just previously. Another way we can do this movement is a preacher curl, specifically on a bench. So bring this up to this kind of position where it's slightly back.
These are my favorites.
They're good ones, aren't they? And then you're going to be here. So palms facing forwards, arm again is in front of the body. It's not there in line, it's actually in front of the body, and full range of motion through here. So this is a very similar movement, arms in front of the body, the biceps shortened, and we're doing, again, you can do, I don't know, like 3 sets of, again, 10, 15 repetitions. So we've worked the bicep specifically through a stretched out position on that decline, and also through this position with your arm forwards. So stretched out and shortened. We're now going to work the brachialis muscle, which is the muscle underneath the bicep, which really isn't massively visible, but it adds a lot of bulk and size to the arm, and of course pushes the bicep forwards, and you'll get more muscle development on the lower part of the arm here. So you'll notice when you've been doing the brachialis movement for a long time, this lower part of the bicep really starts to shine. The way we can do that is with a hammer curl. So you can do it a number of ways. And by the way, this does not make a difference whether your arms are behind you or in front of you, because the brachialis muscle does not cross your shoulder joint. So take dumbbells, hold like this so that you're basically not supinated, but obviously not pronated, you're neutral here. And you're gonna do single arm like this. And it's as easy as that. You can do it standing if you really want to, it doesn't make any difference. Another way you can do this is after you've done your preacher curls from the previous movement, is you can do the exact same thing in this position. It doesn't make much difference as long as you're doing some sort of hammer curl. And what you'll find is that after doing that, you'll really start to feel it in here, in the brachialis, and it's really useful with bicep movements, arm movements, that you're doing a variety of exercises, because what we do not want is you just doing the same thing over and over and over again. You need a variety of movements, a variety of exercises to work the arm in a varied way and to hit every single muscle in the way that we want to.
What's the difference between a hammer curl and a regular curl?
Well, hammer curl is like this. So it's got that grip and it's a hammer. That's basically why they call it a hammer curl. And a regular curl, it would be like this. So palm facing forwards, that's what tends to be a regular curl. And of course, overhand is like this, which is more gonna be focusing on this area here, the forearm. But we're not gonna talk about forearm training right now, that'll be in another video. So if you want more arm training, fitness videos, muscle building, weight loss, make sure you subscribe and like this video.